Hey folks, it's Josh, and thanks again for tuning in to this week's podcast. Today I'm joined by Lloyd from the Salvation Army. Lloyd, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Josh.
So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about the Salvos, where it started from, and give us a bit of a rundown.
Well, the Salvation Army originated in London, in England, back in 1865. William and Catherine Booth were the founders of the Salvation Army, and they saw a need within London's poor for practical assistance. So William and Catherine Booth had been both Methodist ministers, and they saw a need for the church to actually assist people who were in need, whether it be because of addiction to alcohol, poverty, prostitution, any of those things that were affecting people's lives and families' lives. So they felt that move to, create an organisation that was both a church, a Christian church, but also that provided people with hope and practical assistance so that their lives could actually be improved, that things such as alcoholism, violence, those sort of things were able to be dealt with and giving people and families a better life.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting because to the general public, we a lot of people know that you've got the store downstairs,
yes,
and you can
right.
drop things off, and
Yes.
People can come and buy those stuff and take things like that. That's understandable, but I don't think there's a lot of awareness around all the other things that the Salvos do. So apart from the store, which is downstairs, and we'll talk about that in just a second, what else does the Salvation Army do?
So the Salvation Army in Australia is quite a variety of things. So addiction services, where residential and non-residential rehabilitation programs for addictions to alcohol, drugs, gambling are where assistance is given to overcome that. Locally here, we do quite a lot in the way of food parcels, food hampers, homeless support, so providing temporary accommodation or transitional accommodation. We also deal with a lot of the human trafficking that occurs, which is something we often we think about in terms of other countries, but is quite relevant to Australia, and not just in the sex industry, but also in terms of people coming out on labour for work that turns out to be something completely different. So,
and you're looking after the people, they get caught up in that may not know the exact reason why they're coming over here. Is that right?
Yeah. So they a person or people might think they're coming out for let's say working on a farm. And that person may be here for something in reality completely different.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you find in this area? So being in Hornsby, where do you find that the spike is in need, and where you guys help out the most, do you think?
Well, certainly food hampers or food parcels is a really big thing that we do. So there's quite a lot of those that we give out every week, and the food that we give out comes from food that has been donated to us. As well as that, there is, far more homelessness than what many people would think of. I think quite often we think of Hornsby, the North Shore in general, as being a wealthier location, but there is still great need, and a lot of the homelessness that we see in the Hornsby, Ku-ring-gai area is quite often hidden. People sleeping rough in parks, in National Park, and it's not necessarily in public view. So, but also looking at how we can try and help someone with the reasons why they may be sleeping rough, or homeless. So a lot of the time people who are homeless aren't necessarily those that we think of in terms of sleeping in a park. They may just be in very irregular housing. So how we can actually assist people to gain, I guess, the opportunity to get into long-term, reliable, safe housing. So, so looking at, I guess, the issues as to what has led the person to become homeless in the first place. But probably, as I say, the food side of things is probably the biggest thing. We certainly help with food, clothing, blankets, electricity, gas bills, Telstra accounts.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to what the person's need is.
Yeah.
Again, we can only do what we do because of the generosity of others. Donations that come from the public, clubs, other organisations and schools, is what allows us to assist people, whether it be at Christmas or any time during the year.
Yeah. So tell us, leading into the whole donation side of thing, and just going back on what you said, I think it's really cool if someone needs help to get on their feet. You're not just getting them on their feet, you're educating them and helping them continue that process as well. So it's not just about, here, this is what you need, go and do it. It's like, here, we're here to help you and give you the support.
Well, I think one of the big things, Josh, is that quite often a person has an immediate short-term need.
Yeah.
And we look at addressing that, but we also, where there is a longer-term issue or problem that needs to be addressed, to actually, I guess, give the person a hand up, not just a hand out.
That's right. I like that. Yeah. I don't think that's the reason why I asked that question. What Salvation Army actually does, because I don't think a lot of people realise all the things that you guys do.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how the community and how the listeners can actually help. I mean, obviously you've got the shop downstairs, which I walked in before, which is really cool. There's obviously a lot of things coming in and out of there.
Yes, that's right.
Apart from the shop, the whole food side of it, what can people be doing to really help out the Salvos?
Well, as I said, very much what we do is reliant upon donations of lots of different things from people. So donations of food, donations obviously from the money side of things. We not long had our Red Shield appeal, which is the main fundraiser for the Salvation Army during the year, which I guess a lot of our financial resource that we give out comes from the Red Shield appeal. But also with the family store, people who don't need items that are still in good condition, whether it be clothing or any other item that, as I say, is still in good condition, can be donated to the family store. And those items that go to the family store are either given to someone else or sold, and if they are sold, then the money that is raised through the family store is then put back into the community through the local Salvation Army.
And on the donation side of things, what is the most interesting or odd thing could be, so that's been dropped off or has tried to be dropped off or suggested that they could drop off?
Yeah. Look, I guess, the mind does boggle at the variety of things that do get dropped off to us. I think one of the things that stand out to me was not here in Hornsby, but when I was at the family store in Tamworth, a lamp, retro type lamp, standing, I don't know, probably a metre high, was donated to us. And when we checked it out, it was something that was worth a few $1,000s.
Oh, really?
It was probably not something I would pay a few $1,000s for, But it was, it's remarkable the value of some of the things that are donated to us. And as I say, that is something that then, even though we don't get, we wouldn't sell that for perhaps the price that if someone else would sell it for, or that it's valued at.
Yeah.
But that is a significant help to us, because then that money goes back into some of the things I've already mentioned. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, or someone that really wants a nice lamp, essentially.
Well, that benefits somebody, yeah. And that the item is donated, the customer is then happy.
Yeah.
They've got something special, and the money is then going into the community to support a need or two.
Definitely. All right. Well, look, I appreciate you sharing a bit of an insight into the Salvation Army.
Thank you.
And telling us a little bit of a history behind it. If anyone has any items, any donatable items that they can bring down to either the store, whether it be Hornsby or any of the other stores. I know that we've taken some furniture down of properties that we've sold in the past, so we'll continue doing that. And if anyone's thinking of doing that as well, they can certainly help out. So thanks so much for tuning in. Until next week, we'll see you soon.